Good morning. Today I would like to speak about the industry of services and how this important area of the economy can help going out of the present recession that started, as we all know, end of 2008. Actually, in the mature countries, let's say that it was evident, it was clear the disbalance between the supply and the demand due to the economic crisis, and therefore basically, the warehouse of goods was full. So it is a necessity now for our enterprises in the Western world to rethink about the business model and consider the possibility to offer the goods in a service way. It is possible to integrate products and services. Somehow, the perfect synthesis of this integration is the one represented by the success of Apple. We all know that they produce devices that are used to buy from iTunes, the supermarket, experiences basically, and emotion. So this kind of integration, in order to avoid strategic and political difficult move from the classic, let's say, brick economy to the modern click economy, because the classic economy is very important for the development of GDP because of all the suppliers working around factories, for example, to a modern company, a modern service economy, which is more intangible and strategically is difficult to manage at political level. It is not necessary to do that. So the integration is absolutely possible. So it's a sort of a soft transition from the classic economy to a modern economy. This can be put in place in many industries. Even in the ones we may think is far away from our thought. For example, in business to business, instead of in the consumer goods, where we think is easier to think about services rather than the products. It is possible absolutely to put in place this integration, this transition into sales of services. For example, a big company planning and designing and producing big implants, for example, can rethink their business model. For example, instead of just having the simple transaction of selling the implant, these kind of companies can think of making the most of, in terms of marketing and customer loyalty programs, of installation and commissioning, for example, or the subsequent phases of selling all the consumables and services related to that. So it is a long cycle that can make the customer loyal, make co-design and research and development, joint research and development, and prepare the client for the next purchase of a big implant, and therefore the company supplying the implant can create a big barrier to the entry of new competitors in their business. So what I'm saying is that what I'm suggesting is to think about the possibility to start from the assets of the company, the products, to think of the way of transiting into service offer. For example, a sports car can be mobility service instead of just a car to be sold. Also, it is very important to take into account that it is relatively easier to differentiate yourself when you are more in the domain of services rather than in the domain of products, because products can be, let's say, it is easier to compare products, while it is more difficult to compare services, which is to some extent can be unique. And this will provide the possibility to the companies entering this kind of a strategic new path to modernity to differentiate also their communication, to create a communication which is more innovative, modern, grabbing attention to clients and consumers that, like it or not, are bombarded by thousands of messages in nowadays economy. So my personal suggestion is really to think about reshaping the business model and to think about the stake of services in your output to the market. Thank you for your attention.